Hey guys, welcome to the podcast today. And I've got Alexander the Ritter as a guest today. And he is co founder and CTO of SmythOS, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. He's actually from my hometown, Houston, and he's been in the field of machine learning for 16 years. He's a serial entrepreneur in the AI field. And I'm really happy to have him on the show. So, Alex, welcome.
Happy to be here, Christopher.
Yeah. I really love this. I love talking to entrepreneurs and just especially in the field of AI. So briefly introduce yourself and we'll dive right into the questions.
After you did such a great job already. Yeah, so I'm Alexander de Ritter. I was born in Belgium. I live and breathe computer science, and I'm fascinated by how and why humans make the decisions we do. And believe it or not, there is an entirely new field of psychology that is associated with artificial intelligence. Because as we're training these AI systems on human behavior and data, they start exhibiting the same kind of biases that humans do. And so that creates great opportunities for marketeers and businesses to try and understand that better. With SmythOS, we're building the world's first and honestly most amazing drag and drop no code agent builder. What is an agent? An agent is, think of it an AI that you can tell it to do stuff. What's the difference with SmythOS agents and other agents? You can make it do stuff according to your way of doing stuff, not like a teenager that you'd say, clean your bedroom, and then you find all the clothes under the bed, but the way that you wanted it, actually fold it and put away in the drawers.
Interesting. So what it's interesting is we've got AI and it's like you've got first you had open AI and then you've got basically the big tech companies getting into AI as Meta as well. So it sounds like we're starting out with a centralized AI, but you're democratizing AI. So how does the work with SmythOS contribute to the democratization of AI for businesses, and what challenges are you facing or expect to face?
Everyone is trying to sell you AI, is trying to get you in their nice walled garden and for to own your ecosystem and own your data. SmythOS is not creating a new data silo for you. Instead, we are embracing the open nature of the internet as a collective consciousness, not a large model to control them all. Tolkien's one ring to rule them all. That's how the big companies are seeing things. We're seeing the web as a living, breathing collective consciousness with new websites and new capabilities spinning up every day, existing ones improving, and defunct ones disappearing, just like organisms in nature do. And if you can harness that power, if you can orchestrate that power, I don't care if you're Jira, Asana, or Salesforce, or HubSpot, whatever your data is, maybe all of them at the same time, everywhere, all together, all at once. Why not? Orchestrate. Don't be limited by just one AI model. Each AI model is like a friend, different strengths, different talents, different style. And with SmythOS, you can drag and drop and orchestrate them, make them work together in teams the way AI was meant to be used.
Really interesting. It's what was the inspiration behind co-founding SmythOS and your vision for creating an AI operating system that automates complex workflows?
I've been in machine learning since 2008 and been through many iterations and like inflection points along the way. When ChatGPT came out, I already had an AI startup, inkforall.com, that helped you reverse engineer the quality of your content against a estimate of how Google's ranking algorithm would view it, and then show you how to make your article better. We got punched in the face or kicked in the teeth, whatever you want to call it, when we saw that ChatGPT was maybe not so advanced, but it was far easier for people to use. And so this is when we realized a few things. One, customers want the easiest possible thing to solve their problem. And number two, don't build anything that is really going to compete with the big companies, because they're going to leverage by bundling and like driving people in their ecosystem along predictable pathways. So if you are seeing a car come at you at 100 miles an hour, you get out of the way. You don't decide to build your own car and then try to escape that car hitting you. And so those are like two important lessons. After a few months, they released GPT 4.0, which added function calling. And this is when we started exploring the opportunity of building the world's first agents. I think our team built the world's first agents. Internally, we tested it, we saw the opportunity. And before there was even a plugin store, we already had our first internal agents working before any open source projects existed for building agents. And then the plugin store was announced, and we were in the first 40 plugins globally to release. And so we garnered a lot of experience from that. We started understanding how this would change the market, how that would change brands. But we also learned all of the pitfalls and difficulties associated with building agents. And we went back to our big lessons learned. This is too hard. This is too hard for people. How do we make it easier? Because that coding of agents has a whole new dimension for developers. See, AI is non-deterministic, and debugging that is really hard. So we set out to create a platform that would be incredibly easy to build it as compared to code. If you never built an agent before, you're not a developer, you might have to, take 2 or 3 weeks of effort. But even if you only have a writer background, you will be able to make AI agents with SmythOS. We're not there yet. We haven't made it easy enough for passing the grandma test, but we're getting closer and closer to that. And then the other part is like, how do you steer away from the big companies like the car that's incoming? And while they focus a lot more around the monolithic model of just bring your APIs and our big model will decide how to use it, we decided to focus on a different vision, one that is collaborative and distributed. And so we think that Google and Meta and XAI and OpenAI and Anthropic and Cohere Labs and A21Z, they all have great models. They all have great things to contribute to the field. And any company that's trying to keep it inside their own walled garden, by default, you're going to miss out on what the entire internet is doing. So we feel like that is how we avoid getting hit by the big car, because it's how we get out of the lane, by making sure that your agents adhere to your workflow by using any API tool, data, AI model you can think of, and then making it as easy as possible with drag and drop. And so ever since function calling came out, we have been working 24/7 on this one vision to make AI agent building as easy as possible and as compatible as possible. Build it once, deploy it anywhere, and break free out of that prison of that company who wants to own your data and your application layer on it.
Yeah. Interesting. And so you mentioned AI ensemble models, and you've pioneered these models in AI. And explain how these models work and the unique advantages they bring to organizations.
This is Concept of Composable AI. When I was a kid, I got Lego and I just got this rectangular red brick, and that's all I had. I didn't have Lego Technic or all the other fancy Lego, but I was able to compose them together in a way that made sense to me. My bricks became a robot one day, a castle another day, and a car another day. And then I'll never forget the day I got this. I got these Lego bricks with a slanted side, and all of a sudden I could build roofs. And my houses didn't just look like some medieval European town now. It looked like maybe a house I lived in. And as you start realizing, every time you add a little type of block to your Lego collection, the things you can create and the infinite ways you can combine that, that's what you mean by ensemble, right? It becomes infinitely exciting, and the opportunities it creates. The idea of composable AI is one that's very powerful, because we're living in a world where you have SaaS solutions that are oftentimes turnkey, point and click, and they're wonderful. They work out of the box to do a great job, right? Until you need that one integration they don't have, or until the prompt they're using or the way they're going about is slightly different than how it should work for your business. And then what? Now your entire business is dependent on this logic and this provider, but you don't really have the agency or control to make it happen your way. With SmythOS, however, you can go in a component, update your prompt slightly, or drag a new component in there, change a connection, and there you go. It's tailored to how you want things done. And so that is the benefit of composable AI. You really just have the alternative. You can either code it with all of the complexities involved with it, or you can use SmythOS and easily save 90% of effort, or you can use an out-of-the-box solution and accept the limitations that come with those products without really controlling the flow of how it is done and how it works for your business.
Yeah. What do you envision as the next major breakthroughs in AI automation, and how will businesses benefit from adopting AI-powered no-code solutions?
Yeah, I just think that everything is getting to like the point where we describe the experience as magical. The end state is a lot like what we saw in Iron Man when he's just talking to his computer Jarvis and he's designing his suit and he's saying, "Well, I don't like this," and he throws it away. He's designed me a new piece for this, and it does all the calculations and so forth for you. You got one model that's good at math, another that's good, maybe optimized for, I don't know, design or whatnot. Another one that handles maybe the voice interactions and orchestrates in the background an army of tiny workers, AI agents to collaborate and get the job done. It's going to get to that point where you're going to literally have a digital colleague. And that colleague's not just going to be an agent that does one thing. It is literally going to be like talking to an executive assistant or operations manager that knows how to ask other humans in your organization for help, or ask other agents in your organization for help, and then orchestrates the work until it's done. And maybe it becomes less like ChatGPT, where you type something and you get an instant result streaming back to you. But maybe the AI goes off for a week and works in the background and then comes back and says, "Here's a fully built, tested, user researched, use case built project. And here you go." And then all you do is give it some feedback. It does one more iteration like a Jarvis and it comes back to you. This is rapidly becoming reality. This is rapidly not becoming science fiction, but just science. The way we're going to see that happen is the distribution mechanisms are clear, right? We carry a phone in our pocket, whatever company that is from, right? That is a distribution method. You have computers you work on. That's a distribution method. You got the Internet of Things. You got the home automation. That is also where it's going to live. So from a hardware perspective, it makes sense. New form factors are emerging. We got the smartwatches getting better. We get the mixed reality glasses like the ones Meta, Project Orion, what they were demonstrating, and their Ray-Ban collaboration. So new form factors are being tried and coming around. And at the extreme end, you got like a Neuralink, right? So today, Neuralink is like decoding your brainwaves, but can it also implant an image in your brain that it pretends you're seeing that? You don't need glasses on your face. All you need is a chip in your head. Eventually, that's where we're going. In the short term, though, it's going to not get in the sci-fi environments. It's just going to be centered around the hardware that you're using. And that hardware is going to be much better. Like your core assistant will live from these platforms. So who are the players? Google, Microsoft, Apple, and Meta, right? They are the ones with the billion plus audiences, right? They're the ones who have it. In the workspace, the game is between Microsoft and Google, between workspace and team. So this is where we're going to see the workspace assistants. But then beyond that, you're going to see it where large data silos exist. If all your sales data is in a Salesforce, that's where you're going to have the best sales agents. If all your supply chain data is in SAP, that's where you're going to have your supply chain agents, where your data lives. And so those are the places the agents are going to start appearing first. And then eventually they're going to, like a collaborative orchestra, they're going to be starting to be orchestrated across all environments in a collective, collaborative sense. And that is going to reach its apex, of course, around the providers that have the right hardware access, where they have the audience in the mass volume to distribute that.
Interesting. I know we have we talked about how do you foresee human AI collaboration evolving in the workplace, and what are the most significant challenges in creating seamless workflows between humans and AI agents?
Yeah, I say that the best interface is no interface. What if an agent could, I don't know, you could just turn your computer on and be like, well, give your agent a name. Or, hey, Sarah, I'm not going to set off your device in the background. All right. Hey, Sarah, check my email. Right. And Sarah goes off and check the email. It's just like, oh, there's some important messages. And you're like, oh, clean my inbox. I want inbox zero, like apply to something. Yeah, sure thing. So you don't need another app installed when you already have your email app. The agent just uses that. You're in your sofa and you're saying, hey, I plan to take it. I plan to take my kids out for a little ride or whatever. I'm going to go take them to, I don't know, the arcade or whatnot. And so the agent, Sarah, whatever, is okay, sure, I'll take care of that. And Sarah talks to your Tesla and be like, are you charged? Yep, I'm charged. All right, get out. The Tesla answers Sarah, I can't. The garage door's stuck. I can't get out. Sarah's no problem. Chamberlain, open that garage door. Oh, sure. Right away. Okay, it's open. Sarah then goes back to Tesla and says, all right, now pull up. And the Tesla says, okay, no obstacles. I can get out. The car pulls up. The Tesla turns on. The AC goes. I'm in Houston, so it's hot. So the AC goes on. If you're up north, it's a heater. And you're ready. So now all you did, you were in your sofa. All you did is say, Sarah, take care of those things, right? Now Sarah says, yep. Hey, Christopher, Chris, hey, car's ready, right? And you just go about your way. And as you drive off, Sarah knows you took off and tells Chamberlain, close that garage door, make sure all the doors are locked, make sure the alarm is set, and so forth. It's seamless. So the best interface is no interface. Agents can operate and automate your marketing campaigns. They can automate your email. They can automate your CRMs. They can automate your task tools like Jira, ClickUp, Asana. But they can also handle like customer inquiries over voice and handle support calls, or make less support calls have to need a human being to answer it, and so forth and so on. So when we think about interfaces, the best interface is no interface. The second best interface is an interface you're already using. And so I would like everyone to just consider to build agents really that work in the places you already work. That's why with SmythOS, when you create an agent, but your organization uses Microsoft Teams, you can easily deploy your Smith agents into Teams. So you can chat with it as a colleague. But if the other hand you use Slack, you can do that too, and so forth. So it's really important to not create new silos for people to work in.
And on the top of, because one thing was people are saying, very much like the internet, people were saying, oh, the internet's just a fad. And they said the same thing about coin, and they said the same thing about AI. But Satya Nadella on a recent podcast, he was like, this is one of those things. It's like general purpose infrastructure innovation, things that will make, what are the key factors that determine success in AI adoption? People are just using it.
Yeah. Let's just say that science, technology, and AI advancements don't care about your opinion. It's going to happen whether you like it or not. You can have an opinion about it. Well, feel free. You'll be like, oh yeah, this is 10 years old, or AI can't do this or that. Sure, fine. You're entitled to your opinion. But yeah, science don't care about your feelings or thoughts. It's just going to move forward. I say that people like myself who know what I know, we know what we know, and we are changing the way we do business. And I believe that you either get on the train or you don't. And if you're going to get on the train late, you're going to have some explaining to do to your board in a few years. And you can take that or leave that. That's up to you. That's your right. Your business better than anyone. But yeah, I just say that innovation is happening. I had a meeting this morning with my team, and I don't want to give away like trade secrets, but let's say that an activity that takes about 80% of our developers' time, hours, effort, has just become something that we think we can just maybe reduce to about 10% of our total development team's effort.
Yeah.
And that is going to basically free up a crazy amount of development genius to work on differentiating features that actually matter for our users without, and probably even improve the part that is where the time is saved, make it even better.
Mm.
Not just probably, for sure it will. So I think we are living in an exciting time, but I don't know if you remember growing up, maybe if you're, I don't know what your audience median age is, but there was a time when my teacher in high school was maybe a math teacher or science teacher that they just drafted, gave her a course over the summer. What is a computer? And the school decided I'm going to give a computer class. And I think I knew far more about computers than she did. And you're basically, I think of my dad in the year 2000, he couldn't know how to find anything if his life depended on it on Google search. Like he didn't know how to write a right keyword. Yeah, can you do that now? Yeah, I'm sure that teacher now knows a ton about computers. I know my dad now knows how to find stuff from Google. That's not the point if you're running a business, right? The point of your business is making sure that competitors don't dethrone you before that happens or you have a chance. So yeah, if you want to be like the computer teacher or my dad, right? Yes, wait and see, or just have fun with it. Have fun. This is the most exciting time to do business in human history. This is the most exciting time. I've not been this excited about computer science and development and building things since, I don't know, since 1994, when everything seems new and exciting. Remember what your childhood was like when whatever your passion is, maybe it's guitar or something. You remember what it was like when you played your first song or when you got a bike and the first time you rode without training wheels. You remember what that felt like? Today, we can feel like that every day. There's something new like that. If you're not having fun with it, then you're going to be much more like my dad in the year 2000. And other people who are excited will probably run circles around you with their bicycle. You'll see all the other kids in the street having fun and you'll just be there. But hey, you can have your opinion too. That's fine.
Yeah. I love that. It reminds me of just like if you didn't have a website or basically you became a blockbuster. I mean, we're all familiar with that and just so many stories. So how
So
can
off
people,
that example you mentioned, right? You could have a successful business without a website for a long time. People were building websites and the people who didn't have any said, why do I need one? My business is just fine. And eventually it's not. But you also didn't become Facebook. You also didn't become Amazon. You also didn't become, I don't know, think of another example, right? Yeah. And eventually your business did have to adopt the website and maybe you're still around. And I really wish that to everyone to have if you do a quality service, likely customers are still going to value you. But at the same time, let us just like really understand this is an incredibly exciting time and you're missing out on a lot of fun, let alone business opportunity. If you're missing out somehow, have
yeah,
fun with it.
yeah. How can people find you and reach out to you and learn more about SmythOS?
Maybe they subscribe to your podcast. Then they'll meet people like me. My name should be like somewhere here. There you go. I just gave you more editing work in the notes of the show or whatnot. But you can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on YouTube. And you can also go check out SmythOS in general. Just follow along with what we're doing. And be happy to have a conversation with you, the listener, as well. If you have an interesting use case for agents, I want to hear about it.
Awesome. And thanks so much for coming on.
My pleasure. Thank you.